Hey, Team Numis Canada. That's what I call my members and subscribers. Hello, coin collectors, young and old, and anyone else that might be watching. Welcome to Numis Canada with Bruce. And today we are doing episode 10 of season 1, which is the Dominion state of Virginia. And we'll get right into that just after this. Welcome back. Here are we with the Virginia set, and of course, Virginia is the Old Dominion from 1788, and here we have the state seal, and of course, I'll give you a photograph of the current state seal with its color, and the same for the state flag. And of course, this photograph is of Monticello, the home of Thomas Jefferson, near Charlottesville, Virginia. This 35-room brick mansion was designed and built by Jefferson between 1768 and 1809. And of course, you'll know this from on the reverse of virtually every nickel with Jefferson on the obverse. How cool is that? Now, the Virginia statehood quarter dollars, minting limited to 10 weeks, issued October 16th, year 2000. Brilliant uncirculated condition. And here we have the Philadelphia mint with the reverse, and you'll see the ships there. And over here, we have the Denver with the obverse, with Washington, and of course it's the quarter, of course. And the Virginia, the unique Virginia quarter dollar features 3 ships that carried 105 passengers who established the first permanent English settlement in America in 1607. The ships, the Susan, Constant, Godspeed, and Discovery left England on December 20th, 1606, and arrived in Virginia on May 13, 1607. The leaders built James Fort about 15 miles inland on a peninsula. The small town that emerged was named Jamestown, which, like the fort, was named in honor of King James I. The settlement was sponsored by the Virginia Company, a business venture, but disease, food shortage, and attacks by Native Americans almost wiped out the colony. Fortunately, Lord de la Warr arrived with a relief ship full of supplies from England on June 7th, 1610. In 1612, farmer John Rolfe grew the first tobacco crop, finally giving the colony an economic base. 2 years later, Rolfe married Pocahontas, the daughter of Algonquin chief Powhatan. This marriage helped establish peace between the colonists and the Native Americans. Jamestown served as a capital of the colony until 1700, when Williamsburg took over. And of course, at the bottom it states Virginia entered the Union on June 25th, 1788. Now we flip it over, and of course we have the obverse of Philadelphia and the reverse of Denver. And in 1585, England claimed a large area of North America and named it Virginia in honor of Queen Elizabeth, the Virgin Queen. In 1608, Virginia Company obtained a royal charter to create a colony in 1607 as the first settlers, led by Captain John Smith, arrived from England and established Jamestown as the first permanent English settlement in the New World. As more settlers arrived in the thriving colony from Britain and from other colonies, they created new towns and pressed westward in search of farmland. The population of Virginia grew from about 19,000 in 1650 to about 59,000 in 1700 and 808,000 in 1800. Virginia played a vital role in the development of the United States as the birthplace of visionary leaders such as George Washington, Patrick Henry, and Thomas Jefferson. These men inspired and wrote documents on which the nation was built, including the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. No revolutionary battles were fought on Virginia soil until 1781, when Washington defeated the British at Yorktown. This decisive battle brought the Revolution to an end, ensuring American independence. During the early 1800s, Virginia economy relied heavily on the slave trade. Fearing for its economic stability, opposed to Lincoln's decision to send troops in response to a South Carolina revolt. Virginia became seventh state to secede from the Union in 1861. Richmond soon became a Confederate capital, and over half of all Civil War battles were fought in Virginia. In 1685, Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered at Appomattox Court House in Virginia to end the war. Before the Civil War, 1/6 of the nation's railroad tracks were in Virginia. But it was not until the 1880s that the railroad system helped spark an industrial revolution in the states. Coal, shipbuilding, and cotton textiles became major industries. During World War I, munition plants and military training centers brought newfound prosperity to Virginia. By the time the Great Depression started in 1929, Virginia was more prosperous than any other former Confederate state. Following the Supreme Court's desegregation decision in 1954, many of Virginia's political leaders tried to stop the integration of schools. It was not until 1959 that the first schools were integrated in Norfolk and Arlington. In some counties, schools closed down protest integration as a measure of the shifting political power in the state. However, 30 years later, Virginia elected L. Douglas Wilder governor, making him the first black governor of any state. Because of the proximity to Washington, D.C., Virginia was the home of 1,000 federal government workers at the end of the 20th century. In addition, the Pentagon and the Norfolk Naval Base assured the state a sustained role in the nation's defense system. Virginia's economy was also fueled by tourism at that time, with millions of visitors traveling to Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's home, the tomb of the unknown soldier at Arlington Cemetery, Colonial Williamsburg, the lovely Shenandoah Valley, and numerous battlefields, churches, and other historic sites. And of course, we have here 3 stamps, and the first one here you'll see is issued on January 12th in 1968 to honor 3rd President Thomas Jefferson, This 1-cent stamp is part of the Prominent Americans issue. Jefferson served as Virginia's governor. He also founded the University of Virginia. And likewise, over here, we have issued August 26, 1954. This 1-cent stamp is part of the Liberty series. It features the first president, George Washington, who resided in Mount Vernon, Virginia. And the last stamp we have on here is National Park Centennial. And of course, this is a 6-cent stamp, and it says Wolf Trap Farm, Virginia on the side of the stamp. This stamp depicts the performance at Wolf Trap Farm in Virginia, the only national park dedicated to the performing arts. Issued June 26, 1972 as part of the National Parks Centennial issue. And of course, when we get to the bottom, we see that the capital is Richmond. The bird is the cardinal. The flower and tree are both the flowering dogwood. And the motto is Sic Semper Tyrannis, thus always two tyrants. And there we have it. Virginia, the Old Dominion state. How cool is that? Thank you for watching, and join us again for episode 11, probably next month. And in the meantime, we hope you enjoyed this series. Take care, and bye for now.
And please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and keep on collecting.